Welcome back to Buffalo Boys, week 13. We are back. It is Ryan along with my co-host Todd. Todd, great to see you. Missed you over our little break. How are things? How was your Thanksgiving?
Really glad to be back, Ryan. Thanksgiving was good. We took the week off and just did a couple things around Miami that we'd been wanting to do. Hit a couple happy hours. It was low-key, restful, and we missed you, though. We missed doing the pod, and I don't know why I'm saying we. It was just me missing you, but here we are, ready to be back, episode 12. They didn't think we would get here, but here we are.
Here we are. I thought our random Middle Eastern fan had texted you and was like, hey, where's the pod? I miss Ryan. So maybe that was the proverbial we, but yeah, great to see you too. Thanksgiving was good for me too, just hanging out with the fam in Florida, a little north of you, but it was a good time. Glad to be back on the pod. Before we get started, got to thank the sponsors. Of course, we are sponsored by the good folks at Mattress Blacks. Of course, at Mattress Blacks, you can get a king-size mattress that's good for your back. We are also brought to you by our friends at Boards Golf Emporium. If you're looking for golf clubs, golf balls, anything golf-related for the Christmas holiday, make sure to go to Boards Golf Emporium. They've got everything that you need. Again, that's Boards Golf Emporium. Week 13, Todd, I guess this is episode 12 since we missed week 12. We start off as we always do. What are you sipping on?
Well, Ryan, the highlight of Thanksgiving probably was going to the J. Wakefield cellar sale. And so in your honor, I opened up one of the bottles. It is called Zord.
Wow.
It's a chocolate. Yeah, it is. Wow, for sure. It's a chocolate rye barrel aged imperial stout with caramel, cocoa nibs, pecans, almonds, and vanilla. Do you say pecan or pecan?
You know, I'm a pecan guy. But I think if I read it, I say pecan. Or if I'm talking about pie, it's always pecan pie, not pecan pie. So I don't know. That sounds delicious. It looks like it has a 4.33 on Untapped, which is not a low score. It's also a collaboration with Bottle Logic out of Anaheim, who is a brewery that I've heard lots of good things about. So that's awesome. Sounds like a great beer. I am drinking some water out of a good old blue cup from He's Not Here. Shout out to Chapel Hill. I'm sure you've been there on a few occasions. Just being a hydro homie for the day.
Man, speaking of North Carolina, Ryan, rest in peace to our basketball team. Just really having a rough Thanksgiving. And our football team and Drake May's hopes at a Heisman.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what day that was. I think it was a Thursday or Friday. Oh, no, I think it was the Friday after Thanksgiving. Maybe the Saturday. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I remember watching that with my family, and they are not UNC fans. They're Duke fans, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I was getting a lot of shit, not only because of our football team, but also, the basketball loss. That was tough. So, anyway, I'm hoping that we turn it around once ACC play starts. I'm sure we will, but, tough way to start the season. It is what it is. Moving on to the pod, Todd. Of course, after What Are You Sipping On, we start out with the Quality Control Coach of the Week. I guess we are looking back at week 11, or are we looking at week 12?
I did it for week 12. I kind of skipped over week 11. We'll just give it to the whole league. Everyone was great that week.
Way to go, everyone.
Or last week, as in week 12, man, we really got to not skip a week. This is so complicated.
It is, yeah.
The quality control coach for week 12 was Mike Simpson. He started his optimal lineup and became the first owner to go back-to-back for points for leader on the week. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Congrats, but not sure that it matters at this point. And for every quality control coach, there must be a clown coach or a clown owner. Who are you giving it to this week, Todd?
I feel a little bit bad about this one as he is a fellow home purchaser in the past few weeks, as well as home seller. They were packing up this past weekend. Lots going on, but that doesn't preclude you from the notoriety of Clown Owner of the Week, Dave. You left 25 points on the bench and got kicked out of the playoffs.
I was about to think that you were about to give that to me, Todd. So thank you for not giving it to me. Congratulations, Dave, on being a new homeowner. I guess the newest of us league members, unless Adler bought a home yesterday. I don't think he did. But anyway, that's great. Thanks for those, Todd. Let's move on to bold prediction recap. I'm looking back on week 11. Obviously, we didn't have an episode last week. But my bold prediction came courtesy of Mike S. He said that Kenny Pickett and Joe Burrow in the Steelers-Bengals matchup would have 800 combined yards. Now, Joe ended up with 360 yards total. Kenny had 279 total. That's 639 combined. Not 800, but fairly close. So, it was a bold prediction, and I think it wasn't too bad. How did your bold prediction go, Tom?
I'm sure Jimmy let Mike hear it on such a bad miss, but mine was a barely miss. In week 11, I predicted that Pacheco would have a breakout week, finishing as an RB1 with 120 total yards and a touchdown. He did have his best yardage output on the season, finishing with 107 rushing yards, but no touchdown. I'm going to say that I hit this one pretty much on the head.
Awesome. Congratulations, Todd. Now, speaking of all those statistics, of course, it is time for Quick Hit Stats, a fan favorite. And of course, Todd, hit me.
One more time, Ryan, I'll hit you. Nixon and Dave were eliminated from the survivor pool over the past 2 weeks, leaving you and Rick. $20 is on the line this week, Ryan. Do you have what it takes?
I really, really hope so. I was looking at Rick's team. He's really had a good stretch lately. Obviously, he has two of the best running backs in the league on his team. They could have pretty big games this week. I don't know. It could go either way. Obviously, I'm hoping it goes my way, but I guess we'll see what happens. Good luck, Rick. I'm sure you're listening.
Maybe he's listening while he's in the cop car doing a high-speed chase that he was telling us about. So that would be pretty exhilarating.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Wow, you think he's arresting like innocent minorities while listening to you and I talk about fantasy football? That would just be so amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I would be surprised if he was listening, but not that he was recording.
Not the other thing. Hey, look who we got.
What's up?
Speaking of listening to our pod in a car on the way to big and amazing things, we just had Nixon Ball, our great commissioner, join the pod this week for a little trivia segment.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it is true that I was listening to Buffalo Boys with Danielle in the car on a scenic drive in Oregon mere hours before the proposal. So there you go.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on, we have a trivia segment this week, Todd, and friend of the program, friend of the league, our wonderful commissioner, Nixon. Nixon, welcome to the program. Congratulations on the engagement recently. Todd, I will hand it off to you. Can't wait to hear what trivia you have for us today.
Thanks, Ryan. So, gentlemen, can you name the top 5 QB seasons by EPA per play since 2012?
Okay. I feel dumb asking this. What is EPA? You're not talking about the Environmental Protection Agency, obviously. So in the context of the NFL, what are you talking about?
Wait, I'll answer this one for my first point in the trivia. Expected points added?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Since 2012. Okay. I'll let our distinguished guest go first, I guess.
Since 2012. Time is so compressed. I don't know. I'm trying to remember like who retired when and what. I will guess Peyton Manning for that insane touchdown season that he had.
Nope. Not on the list. Not in the top 5 at least. I think he's top 10. Ryan?
Okay, I thought Peyton Manning was a really good guess, so I'm a bit shocked there. I mean, how about Tom Brady?
Nope.
Wow. Okay, this is gonna be tough.
All right, I have like a vague feeling that when I've heard about this stat before, that it really favors run, or not favors, but like it takes into account running really more so than like your casual observer might. So I'm gonna guess Lamar Jackson.
Nope.
All right. Well, speaking of efficient quarterbacks with low interceptions, Aaron Rodgers.
Which season?
Oh, we're doing like individual seasons. Oh fuck, dude, I don't know.
Bonus credit for the season.
Like last season? Didn't he have like four picks last season?
His best was with LaFleur was actually the 2020 season, and that's 4th on the list. He also has another one in the top 5 in 2014, so he's 4 and 5.
Okay, so asterisk on that 2021 because he shouldn't have been allowed to play. But right, Todd. I'm gonna guess Russell Wilson.
Are you joking, Nixon?
I am serious that I am gonna guess that, and if it's true, I have a mini rant. So go ahead.
Well, I don't want to miss out on the mini rant, but it's definitely not Russell Wilson.
The mini rant is that I guessed that because you said efficiency, because I have long held the belief, which I believe is being borne out to be true right now, which is that everyone's always like, oh, Russell Wilson has these insane like touchdown efficiency numbers. He throws a touchdown like 1 out of every 10 passes or whatever. Like that was the Let Russ Cook season. Yeah, dude, that actually sucks. That's a bad stat. That that means your offense doesn't trust you to throw the ball unless it's like a high touchdown percentage situation.
How about Alex Smith?
Not Alex Smith, but that's a decent guess.
It's a really tough one. I'm gonna guess Daniel Jones just because I know he's having a high EPA season this year.
He hasn't been having a high EPA for the whole season. It's only like the last like few weeks, so it's a little weighted down. But yeah, he's had a good one this year.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, Patrick Mahomes in 2018, his best statistical season. He comes in at number 3.
I'm getting crushed right now. I have a guess. I have like a weird guess, but I think it's a good guess. But I'm actually drawing such a huge blank on the guy's name right now. Carson Palmer. I guess.
It was not Carson Palmer. I don't.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Nope. All right, Nixon. Last guess.
I'm so stumped. I'm getting run out of the building here.
Think about the best receivers.
Oh.
No.
Say it.
I mean, it can't be the guy that just immediately came to my mind when he said that.
Say it.
I said it plural for a reason.
Tua?
It is indeed.
Tua, that is shocking to me. I mean, I get it, because, like, he doesn't really have to do anything.
It's shocking, but, like, it's even more shocking when you see the full stats. He's currently at 0.4 estimated points added per play on the season, and that is just light years above everyone else. Like, number 2 is at 0.368. Number 3, Mahomes, is at 0.363. Rodgers' best year was 3.62, and his next best year was 3.48. Like, he's almost a half point better than the best seasons in the past decade.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the receivers that he has are obviously just completely nuts.
Do you want to try to guess the last one?
I mean, it's Ryan's turn. He's already beaten me to the best of 5, but fair is fair.
Yeah, it's all you, Nixon, if you have a guess.
All right. It's Drew Brees.
Oh, okay. Sure. I feel really dumb for not thinking of Drew Brees. That is like that should have been as we were rattling off like, Manning, Brady, like we should have just been right into that. That was shame on us, Ryan.
I'm telling you, like,
That was a tough one. That was a tough trivia,
Todd's
Todd.
trivia is harder than Contra, like always. It's like just the most insane. I mean, I'm never good at it. Like, I don't know where he gets these stats. They're just like ridiculous.
It's funny. I feel like I'm pretty good when I'm playing along at home, but
Yeah, once you're in the hot seat, it's a lot different. Right?
yeah, clearly I just choked it away here, not clutch.
Well, Nixon, thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. Good to see you again.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on again, guys. What number appearance is this for me? I'm running away with it. I think it might just be three. I think it might just be three because I think we did trivia. I don't know that I've jumped on. I think this might be my first time jumping on for an individual trivia. So three. So I guess that means maybe I just pulled ahead of Mike Simpson. So eat it, Mike.
Nice. All right, man. See you later.
All right, guys.
Well, Ryan, picking up where we left off on quick hits before Nixon joined us. Dave was also eliminated from playoff contention last week. Ryan, Hoyle has had such a crazy season, basically at the point of me damning his team and never picking them again. It completely flipped. In week 6, he was the most unlucky team. Over the last 6 weeks, he's gained 3.18 more wins than expected, which puts him as the luckiest team at 1.76 more wins than expected on the season. He completely rewrote the script. But the 3.18 over the past 6 games means that I really shouldn't have lost as many predictions as I did because half of them were lucky.
Or, Todd, maybe it's the fact that even in week 11, after Mike had won 4 in a row, you still refused to pick him, and he ended up winning. So, I mean, listen, all I'm saying is if you don't pick him this week, it's on you.
I'm a man of my word, Ryan. I made my bed and now I've been sleeping in it. On the flip side, Mike Simpson remains most unlucky, staying at 1.62 wins less than expected, as he was the top scorer last week and the week before. Through week 12, Ryan, and since 2015, because that's when we have data for this stat, the lowest optimal points for leader, so the lowest amount of most points that you could have scored regardless of your lineup in a given season through week 12 is Nixon this year at 1473.26. Also through week 12 and since 2015, this is the second lowest points left on the bench with Doug at 186 points. Ryan, what that tells us is that there's a lot of parity in our league this year. You've seen it in the top rankings. I think there's like 4 teams with 7 wins. You've seen it in terms of everyone starting their best lineups. You've seen it in terms of the max points for the max optimal points is pretty even across the board. For context, Doug's 186 bench points pales in comparison to Neil's 227 points left on the bench through week 12 in 2018. And to set Nixon's 1,473 points, optimal points on the season through week 12, to give a comparison point there, Dave in 2019 had 1,650, almost 200 more optimal points. So this has been overall, like, no one's blowing it out of the water. It's just a high level of parity, Ryan.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I do like parity in sports, in fantasy football. So yeah, it's good that there's no one dominant team, and it seems like every week we're seeing it every week in matchup rundown. Anyone can win, so that's always exciting.
Lastly, Ryan, I joined the 100 win club finally, last of the Nixon and Jimmy cohort. So that was a flop. Ryan, you're only 3 wins away, though. You could get it this season.
I would love to get it. I would love to join the secret group me. And congratulations, by the way, Todd. Way to bury the lead. I thought you were gonna open this segment up with being as a part of the 100 Win Club. So I know how much that means to you. I know how much you wanted to be part of the secret group me. So congratulations.
Thanks, Ryan. And that's it for quick hits.
Awesome. Well done as always. Moving on, it is transaction review. Obviously, we took a week off, so I'm sure there are some extra transactions to talk about, including a recent trade that I saw that you were a part of, Todd. So take it away.
Certainly. The waivers, pretty boring. Not a whole lot to highlight this week. I think we'll just stick with the meat and potatoes here, Ryan. I traded last night with Mims. I sent Jalen Hurts, A.J. Dillon, and Michael Pittman for Fournette and DK Metcalf. But I want to get your view of the trade first, Ryan. What do you think?
Well, Todd, it's an interesting trade. You're getting basically the 15th ranked wide receiver and the 15th ranked running back. I mean, two guys who will be solid for you every week. If you were looking for consistency, obviously you've got it now. I'm trying to remember what your quarterback situation is now. Letting go of the third ranked quarterback in the league is definitely a choice. And Michael Pittman is pretty much a stud at wide receiver too. AJ Dillon wasn't really doing anything, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have made this trade if I was you, but tell me what you were thinking.
Yeah, I only really truly had one trade chip, and that was Jalen Hurts. If I was going to make a trade, I had to include him just to get someone else on board, With AJ Dillon and Pittman, they both have bye weeks next week. And for me to get to the playoffs, I have to win both this week and next week. So what I ended up doing was I offered that same trade package to every team in playoff contention with 6 or 7 wins so that they would have 2 players on bye week in week 14. And I would not have to scramble at my already thin RB one position. So I think all things considered, I think I upgraded Pittman to DK and definitely upgraded AJ Dillon to Fournette. Fournette, they're saying he lost his job, but I'm hoping it's just that hip pointer injury, whatever it was, and that he's going to be back to full force going forward.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm looking at your lineup now. You did pick up Geno, who I believe Jimmy had last weekend. I had Geno a couple weeks ago. He really worked out for me when Mahomes was on a bye week. I think he'll continue to produce. So it's not like you're totally struggling at QB. Yeah, Todd, I guess my only concern is your second running back position. I'm not sure how Hasty's going to be. You have 2 Jets running backs. Michael Carter, I'm not really sure how he is. Ty Johnson, very much a backup. Kenneth Gainwell, also very much a backup. I don't know. I mean, listen, now that you've described it and you did this to make the playoffs, I wish you luck. I hope it works out. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
That's it for our waivers and transactions, Ryan.
And with that, Todd, it is matchup rundown review. Week 11 was a tough one for me. I went 3-4. I'm now 44-33 for the season. I think that is still pretty solidly ahead of you. How did you do in Week 11?
Week 11, I had the same amount of wins. I went 3-4 overall. It was it was better than the 3 prior weeks, but I actually did, though, post on the GroupMe some predictions for Week 12. So especially since they went well, I'm definitely going to include those here. I went 5-2 for Week 12, which puts me at 42-42 for the season. So yes, you're still crushing me, but I'm back at 500.
Okay, Todd, congratulations. And with that, it is matchup rundown, Week 13. Let's get right into it. Mims versus Jimmy. I will let you take this one first, Todd. Obviously, Jimmy, best team in the league right now, record-wise. Mims, not doing too bad himself. In the playoff hunt. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I've got Jimmy over Mims. Mims is looking a lot better now after the trade, but Jimmy should easily have this one. Fields is going to torch the Packers. Even though his second worst performance was week 2 against the Packers, we've lost 7 starters on the defense since then, and especially seeing how we defended Hurts recently, Fields should easily have 100 yards rushing this week.
You know what? I didn't think about the injuries that the Packers have. All I thought about was just the historic record between the teams and how the Packers really have the Bears number. Clearly, this could be an easy win for the Bears. I wasn't really thinking about that when I was making my prediction. I have this as the game of the week. I think Jimmy is going to win also. I really like Eckler against Vegas. And I think Jimmy's going to get another win. Moving on, it is me versus AJ. AJ got 18.7 points from Stephon Diggs on Thursday. Luckily, Knox gave him 0 points in tight end spot, so he's setting me up a little better for our Sunday matchups. And Todd, I'm really trying to get that first bye week spot in the playoffs. Really trying to score 2 more wins before the regular season is done in fantasy. And I'm picking myself here. Like Nick Chubb against Houston. I'm really, really hoping that Chubb goes off against them. I also really like the Bucs D against New Orleans. They have an awful QB situation right now. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can squeeze this one out against AJ. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that goose from Knox really hurt AJ this week. Plus, he's got 3 starters questionable. You don't know how Mixon's going to come back from his concussion. I've got you, Ryan. I'm really interested, though, to see how Deshaun Watson impacts the Browns. Are they going to pull away from being more run first? Is Chubb going to get the same workload? But that might benefit. I think you're starting Donovan Peoples-Jones. So I think you're covered either way, and I think you'll get this win and be the last survivor standing.
Fingers crossed, Todd. We will see what happens. And speaking of the person who I'm going up against in the survivor pool, it is Rick versus Adler, battle of the 7 and 5 teams. How do you see this one going, Todd?
Rick's been on a tear. His team is getting healthy with Hollywood and Chase. Adler is starting Zonovan. It's not looking positive for Adler. I'm going to pick Rick.
Yeah, I'm picking Rick too, with the asterisk that he scores less points than me. Fingers and toes crossed on that one. But yeah, all you have to do is look at the running back matchup here. It's Henry and Jacobs versus Mostert and Zonovan Knight. That's really all you have to say. So yeah, Rick wins here. Next is Doug versus Forrest. I have Doug in this one. Todd, who do you have?
Well, I've actually got Forrest. All time, Forrest has won the head-to-head matchup against Doug 8 times to Doug's 4. And this is kind of wishful thinking because Forrest's team is just a dumpster fire at this point. I even beat him. But I think it would be hilarious to see this happen. If it does happen, it could force Doug from the playoffs. And going from all that trash talk to potentially not being able to even make the playoffs, it's just too good of a storyline not to wish it into being.
Yeah, that would be quite the descent. I mean, here's a guy who started off the season, 6-0, and then doesn't even make the playoffs. Yeah, that would be that would be incredible in a number of ways. So, interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I will say though, Forrest, you might want to switch your defense. Like we were just talking about, the Packers are probably going to get run on and allow a lot of points this week. So, you don't actually listen to the pod, so this is falling on deaf ears.
Hey, but he's too busy planning a wedding that we're all going to get invited to. So yeah, let the man be, Todd. Moving on, let's go to your game. It's you versus Hoyle. Give me your thoughts on your chances here.
I mean, all of our loyal listeners know exactly who I'm picking, and it's myself. Hoyle's luck is gonna. I mean, it has to come to an end. There's just no way he gets another lucky win to end the season, and that will put us basically head to head against each other in week 14 to see who can fight for the last playoff spot.
All right, Todd. I get where you're coming from, but at this point, I can't pick against Hoyle. I just can't. His run has been incredible. I think this is going to be a close game. I actually don't think that either of you guys are going to get over 100 points. This might be kind of a snooze fest, no offense, but yeah, I mean, listen, I just have to pick Hoyle. Sorry. um, Next up, Mike S. versus Nixon, our trivia guest this week. I am picking Nixon here, Todd. Who do you have?
Well, my breakout of the week is on Mike's team, so I'm going with Mike this week. However, I think he will regret starting Rachaad White because, like I said previously, I think Fournette's going to resume the lead back role. So that could cost him, especially with Najee potentially having a good matchup here this week. And for Nixon, what I'm really worried about is the Vikings going against the Jets. I think the Jets are going to shut down that offense completely. I think Sauce Gardner will be able to shadow Justin Jefferson for the most part. And that defensive line for the Jets is just going to rip apart the Vikings offensive line, and Cook's going to really struggle this week. So not looking good for Nixon. I've got Mike.
Yeah, I'm glad you highlighted that game, Todd. Minnesota against the New York Jets this week. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Just wanted to put that out there. And last but not least, two of the worst teams in the league. It's Dave and Neil. Neil is currently without a kicker as of Saturday afternoon. I don't think it really matters. I don't know if he plans to add a kicker or do what I did week 11. But Dave already has a 36-point lead, starting 3 Buffalo Bills on Thursday. I think he's going to cruise to victory here. I've got Dave. Who do you got, Todd?
You said last but not least, but I mean, let's be honest. This is the least of all the games this week. It's the anti-game of the week.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right, Todd. Definitely the least game. Thank you for the correction.
With the Bills not starting too hot on Thursday, it really leaves the door open for Neil. But for some reason, Neil is still starting Cam Akers. But on the flip side, Dave is still starting Tyler Boyd. I don't know. I don't think either team will break 80, so I've got Dave, but can't be confident.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned breakout of the week earlier. I do not have one. Obviously, you have one. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, my breakout of the week is George Pickens. I'm projecting a top 6 wide receiver performance on the week with 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the reason being is he's playing the Falcons, and they've allowed 5 points more to the wide receiver than the average performance of that team across the season. So, like, wide receivers are just feasting. I don't think Deontay Johnson will have that great of a game, so I've got Pickens. So I'm sure you're glad to hear that.
Todd, what did I tell you about saying sweet nothings in my ear? You know how to scratch my leg. I appreciate it. I was actually thinking about going to this game. This game is obviously going to be in Atlanta on Sunday. Tickets are insanely expensive because Steelers fans travel very well. But hey, I mean, if Pickens is getting 2 TDs, I might have to cough up the money and go. That will be a game time decision. I'll let you know. Moving on, bold prediction of the week. I'll start with mine. And perhaps this isn't bold, Todd. I would love to know your thoughts, but my bold prediction is simply that I'm going to score more points than Rick this week and win the Survivor pool. Is that a bold prediction? And two, what is your bold prediction?
Well, I mean, you two have made it the full length of the season, so it's strength against strength. I feel like the betting odds have to be on your side, so I'm going to say it's a lukewarm prediction, but I also think it's right. For this week, though, my bold prediction is also another rookie wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. Against the schedule-adjusted 28th worst defense to opposing wide receivers, Wilson will go for 10 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. I guess we'll see what happens. All right. No weekly wager this week, Todd. And that concludes Buffalo Boys episode 12, week 13. Great talking to you as always, Todd. Looking forward to next week. Good luck, and thanks for listening.
Likewise, Ryan, thanks. And thanks to all of our great listeners out there. We really appreciate you. Our App Store rating is flying through the roof. We're trending on YouTube, and we couldn't do it without you. So keep listening, keep watching, keep sharing, and remember, don't get buffaloed.